Made, where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all six aspects of health. That's right, it's not just about a big bank account. Every week, we also share tips to improve your physical, mental, social, spiritual, financial, and today's episode is going to focus on your intellectual health and the topic of productivity. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. Here at Millionaires Are Made, we are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all aspects of life. So we've got three awesome guests that are going to come out and give you three awesome tips on intellectual health and productivity. In the spirit of authenticity, to try to remove as much bias as possible and keep it real, we don't talk about tips or advice before we go live. So the same thing I'm about to hear from them, and we'll discuss. Audience, this is an interactive. Please comment, ask questions, do whatever you want live, and ask them, put them on the hot seat so you can get all the information you need out of this episode. I'll do that later. Guests, if you want to be a guest on our show, we would love to have you, and I guarantee there's something you can share with the world. We're dropping the link right now. Please sign up and be a guest. Come hang out with us. Share some knowledge, and maybe you'll learn a little something too. If you're running through life and maybe you're a little unhappy, struggling, something's going on financially, spiritually, who knows? But if you have a topic idea, we want it. Let us know right now. Comment, like, message us, DM, whatever you want. We love topic ideas, and we're always looking for new fun ones. If you like what we do here at Millionaires Are Made, obviously we want you to share, send stars, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, whatever medium you're watching us on. And as part of our mission, I do love to give help and growth coaching. If you're looking for a little growth consultation, I offer free coaching one-on-one. We're dropping that link right now. And last but not least, we've got merchandise now. Woo! Grab a calendar, grab something awesome, and support us in our mission. And finally, we're going to go over some followers. Thank you so much for following us. We love to shout out everyone that follow us on Facebook. We got Julianne Mejia. Instagram, we've got Coach Christine Mariani. TikTok, we've got Kara. And YouTube, we've got Gary Lynch. Thanks for following us. If you want your name on here, all you got to do is follow us. And before we bring out our guests, I would like to share our sponsors. First, our sponsor, Craig Sadkowski, who is a human behaviorist and mentor. He helps entrepreneurs discover their true identity, purpose, and achieve growth in business and life. You can check his link out below. Our next sponsor is Sarah Jones, who was buried in debt in a hopeless marriage, and her life seemed to be just about over. She knew there was a better way, so she got rid of her big name program she was a part of and focused on how to build a healthy financial foundation. She now is a financial coach, teaching others how to get where she is from the stress and the unhappiness she once had. And she travels the U.S. with her husband in a giant and a bike and on tons of toys. It's fascinating to watch them journey along. Our next sponsor is Cam Knight. Cam is a strategic thinker who turned his career uncertainty into a path of mastery. He got laid off, took a super difficult CPA exam, and then discovered that intelligence is a skill, not a gift. Now he goes, and his mission is to empower others with tools to learn faster, think sharper, and achieve more. And our final sponsor for this episode is Jeremy Roderick, an author of Lead Like a King. He coaches dads across the world who refuse to settle for a life of frustration and resentment in their marriage. Most men think that marriage, parenting, and success are a grind, but the truth is you just weren't given the right tools. Lead Like a King is the roadmap to master all things above and lead with power at home and in business. Woo! He's an awesome guy there. I would definitely check him out as well. And that brings us to our first guest who has been on our show before, the very, very intellectually sound Junaid. Junaid, who are you?
Hey, first of all, thank you so much for bringing me back on, Austin. You told me not to screw this up, so I'm going to try my best. I'm Junaid Ahmed. I'm a podcaster. I help podcasters, content creators, and entrepreneurs build professional-grade home studios by providing expert guidance, practical strategies, and personalized support through my home studio mastery program. I'm a father of four and a beekeeper and a hobbyist and a podcaster as well. Thanks so much.
Junaid is the guy to go to if you're looking to get into podcasting and you don't want to look like me, unprofessional on a porch. Junaid's got, oh, look at that. Camera angles, everything ready to go. He knows what's going on. So if you want to be a pro, go check him out. And apparently now, if you want some honey, Junaid's a guy too. Do you sell your
I
honey?
did. I did sell my honey for some time, and since my newborn in 2022, I've paused that. But I'm helping a local farmer. He's been selling eggs for a while, and just recently he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna start selling honey." I was like, "Hey, let me help you out. I've got a bunch of boxes. Let's get you started."
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's bring this back to something a little important for this episode. Junaid, if I wanted to improve my intellectual health with productivity, what simple piece of advice would you give me?
Well, first of all, throw your phone away and grab a piece of paper or a notebook and pencil because that's going to help you get more productive than anything else because our phones are full of distractive pieces and every single notification that you get sets you back 23 minutes before you come back to what you were working on. So again, if you want to be really productive, put away your phone in a safe and then come to your desk, come to your place where you want to be really productive, jot those ideas down so that you can push those forward.
Okay, let me counterpoint this. What if your phone is needed to be productive? What if your job requires your phone or you have apps on your phone, something of that sort? How would I stay productive with my phone?
To stay productive with your phone, you can basically block off the apps that keep you from being productive, right? So, for example, if you're going to be emailing, make sure all the other apps are turned off or blocked off for the time that you want to be productive. There's a ton of apps out there that will keep you from going to social media, that will keep you from goofing around on YouTube
Yeah.
so that you can be productive. If you want to just make phone calls on phone calls, absolutely pay attention to that. Right? Again, having that ideal list of what you want to be doing, what you want to be doing in that time, you want to again have some kind of um, document that tells you, hey, Junaid, you're working on these things. How about you focus on those things for the first 3 hours of the day, and then you can move on to the next pieces and catch up on other things.
I'm really glad you brought that up. And this is something that I'm going to compare this to like social media, right? Social media can be a distractor. You can scroll on Facebook, yada, yada. It can also be mental health. We've done many episodes on social media, and you can have a social media feed that's full of
Yes.
negativity and it can affect your day. I mean, you can scroll through. So my social media feed is super like cherry picked, right? I'm really good at the unfollow, snooze for 30 days. If you post something that I'm like, I don't ever want to hear that drama, I use
I love
unfollow and
that.
snooze. I'll brought that up with your phone because there are apps that you that will distract you but are still necessary. I can't quite think of any right now, but I'm sure there's like that you brought that up that there's other apps. I mean, even Facebook, the app has like you can go to settings and change it to where it'll tell you how much time you're
Mm-hmm.
using and whatnot, and it'll actually like turn off or shut off and set timers, all that kind of stuff. So that's a huge tip, Junaid, and I think that that's really smart to kind of hone in and make your phone be a productive phone versus a non, just like you can do with your social media feed.
Exactly.
Let me ask you where on your life journey you learned this tip.
As a parent, as somebody who's been using smartphones for the past 18 plus years, we get used to using these devices and depending on them a lot, right? So as I'm going through, I realize that, how much time do I really need to spend on this device? How much time am I spending on the work that I need to do? So again, it's a learned behavior. I've learned it from different people that I've watched on YouTube, like Dan Koh, who talks about the power of focusing. There's other people as well, all focusing on, hey, if you want to really be productive, what are the things that you should be focusing on? There's even these these locking mechanisms that when you tap your phone to it, it'll automatically lock your phone, and to unlock it, it won't unlock till the next day. And then what's cool is over time, Apple's also included screen time feature so you can actually block yourself from using the phone. My really good friend Alex Sanfilippo of Podmatch, he set up screen time on there where after 4:30 the phone locks and his wife's already at the gym and she's the one who has the code to unlock it. So he's like, "Well, I'm locked, might as well go work out."
That, yeah, okay. So that's huge. That's definitely something I have not put enough energy into. Specific apps, your entire phone, locking mechanisms, limiting time. Fantastic, Junaid. Awesome. Well, thank you
Absolutely.
so much for that tip. We're going to move on to our next guest. We'll bring you out for the round robin. I'm sure we're bringing that up more and more. That's a good one. All right, Junaid's out, and now we've got Jesse.
I'm here.
Jesse, tell me,
My name's
who
Jesse
are
Lewis.
you?
I perform comedy hypnosis across Canada. I've got 5 kids. I own 2 food trucks, and I work less than 20 hours a week. There you go. Productivity. Let's do this.
2 food trucks, 5 kids, and a
Yeah.
comedy hypnotist.
And several other ventures.
All right, if I wanted to improve my
Sorry. And several other
Say that
ventures
again?
as well. So, yeah.
okay. Well, if I wanted to improve my intellectual health with product piece of advice, would you give me?
I'm going to divide your productivity, Austin, because there's productivity for other people and there's productivity for yourself. And they're 2 very different things when they come to your intellectual health. People often ask, how do you work so little but do so much? And the simple answer is, I focus on the things that actually need to be done and the things that prevent fires in the future. And that allows not only my intellectual health to be good, but it also allows me to have great emotional health to be able to tackle things when they come up. If you're always fighting fires, you're never actually dealing with the problem. So I guess my tip is to be like a Boy Scout and plan ahead and be prepared. And that helps your intellectual health. May sound weird, but it works for me.
All right, so tip is plan ahead, try to prevent fires. If you've had a fire, figure out a system that prevents that fire from re-happening.
Yeah. And of course, we mean metaphorical fires, everybody, not actual fires. The weird shit that comes
Depends
up.
on your business.
It depends on your business. If the food truck catches on fire, I'm in a little trouble there. But yeah.
You have to come up with a big process to prevent that. All right, Jesse, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Well, I went through a divorce and I was homeless for 2 years. So that taught me that I needed to be prepared for anything that comes up in my life. And since that happened, I've bought 2 houses and I'm completely debt free. So understanding the process of how to do that allowed me to understand that it's not about fighting the fire that's in front of you. It's fighting the fire that's in front of you 5 years from now. So, yeah.
Very smart, very smart. Awesome, Jesse. Well, we're going to move on to our next guest, and we'll bring you out for the round robin. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Sean. Sean, who are you? Sean, you're muted.
Oh, there we go. I am a retired U.S. Air Force and a host of multiple podcasts. I've done 3 TEDx talks, and I'm also a professional speaker, a certified resilience trainer, and a certified John Maxwell trainer. And I've built 4 businesses while serving in the military, which I run a few of them, and I've sold the rest.
Very fascinating. Sounds like you're pretty productive there,
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
And I've got a question for you. If I wanted to improve my intellectual health with productivity, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Stop the time management. It doesn't exist. Use energy management.
Tell me more.
Use energy management. So everybody wants to do time management. You can't manage time. You can't stand in the same river twice. So what you do is you manage your energy, not your time. If you're a morning person, then you want to schedule a lot of your hard tasks in the morning. If you're an afternoon or evening person or a night owl, schedule your tasks according to your energy levels. You can always get more energy. You can't get more time.
Can always get more energy. Oh, but not more time. Okay. All right. So tough task when you have the most energy. And I mean, so you spend more energy on things that you want faster, I guess, is also true. Yes.
Yeah. So you would basically plot your time. So like a line graph, you would make 8 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. And scale of 1 to 10. What's your energy level at 8 a.m., noon, 4, and 8 p.m.? And so mine peaks at about like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Like I'm peaking at my energy, and my lowest is at like 8 a.m. I'm not a morning person. So I would do most of my easy tasks, knock out a couple things quick. If you've ever seen the Navy Admiral make your bed and read the book, there's a reason why the first task in the military is to make the bed. In basic training, tech school, you're bred to make your bed first. It is the easiest task. You've already completed something. Take that into energy management. The first task you do is the easiest task. The hardest task is always when you're peaking at your energy, because if you flip flop it like most people do, you'll never get most of your work done and then you fall behind.
Fascinating. Okay. So in the morning, yeah, get something small done early. That's a good piece of advice. I'm excited for what our challenge is going to be. All right. So let me ask you this then. How do you really find out when your energy peak is? How do you know that? Just like naturally you get a lot of shit done between 4 and 6 p.m.?
So when you're intentional about self-awareness, you start to figure out and discover yourself. You have to be very, very aware. So you could say, I'm peaking at 3 p.m. I'm at my happiest. I go to the gym at 5. I'm crushing life. Okay, well then that's your peak energy. Then you need to plot that on your map somewhere, but 8 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., and 8 p.m., plot your energy levels for, let's say, 3 days and see kind of like where they are, maybe 5 days. And then you schedule your tasks according to your energy levels. And this is a moment of self-reflection and self-awareness as well. And then you can grow as a person.
Fascinating. All right, Sean, where on your life journey did you learn this?
Yeah. So in 2013, we went to University of Pennsylvania and we went through the resilience program there. Our team brought it back to the Air Force, and I was part of the team in 2014 that created and designed the new resilience program that's still used in the military today. And the Air Force and Army partnered on a resilience program called Comprehensive Airman Fitness and Comprehensive Soldier Fitness. And I ran that program from 2015 to 2019. So I've been teaching this stuff for just about a decade.
Just about a decade. Well, I mean, that's a pretty big tip. Yeah, figure out what type of person you are. Plan a tough task. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, Sean. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring everyone out here. Oh, wait, we might have a question. Sean, thank you, Kate. All right, let's bring everyone out and let's start this round robin. I have a good feeling it's going to be nice and interesting. All right, let's start. Audience, this is a great time to ask questions as well or make comments. Making fun of Jesse is always a bonus.
Okay.
But we'll start with Junaid. Junaid, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
My tip was to make sure the devices that you're using are designed and helping you do the productive work as opposed to distracting you. So if your phone is a big distraction and you rather take notes on the paper with pencil and whatnot, do that. Or if you are using your phone for doing the work that you want to be productive, for example, sending DMs, writing emails, whatnot, then make sure you're blocking off the apps and focusing on the specific task. Because if you can knock out that task for, let's say, 60 minutes, 45 minutes that you dedicate for yourself, then you'll feel a lot more accomplished at the end of the day.
Jesse, what are your thoughts
I
on
agree.
that tip?
This is the devil. It steals your time. It steals your energy. The beauty about putting your phone down is that you can actually focus. And Junaid, you said that the 23-minute thing for coming back to something, people don't realize it. It takes that much time. It's crazy how bad that is. But yeah, get rid of the phone for an hour and see what you can actually accomplish. Write down a list of things and start going through it.
You guys are making me laugh because, oh man, ADD people help, but it's just funny. Like, if I skip a task or see another task, it could be like 2 to 3 hours, maybe even days before we get back to that task. Sean, what are your thoughts on Junaid's tip?
Sorry, I was scrolling TikTok. So multitasking. No, sir. No, it's great. Yeah. I can be in the middle of sending emails, and all of a sudden a notification pops on my phone, and I'm lost. I'm like, and it's so hard. So people multitask all the time, but task switching is like the worst. So yeah, if you're gonna work on one thing, focus on one thing, and put, like, my phone goes upside down, so it doesn't sit like this on the table. Okay, when I'm working, if I'm sending emails, like right now, my phone is over here. It's within arm's reach, but it's upside down, so that I don't see the notifications, so that the screen doesn't turn on. So yeah, do that.
That's always good. I love the when you go out to dinner and everyone puts their phone upside down. The first person to grab it has to pay for the meal.
Yeah, we have a rule in our house: no phones at the dinner table, no tablets, no phones, no electronics. When we eat dinner, that's it. We're eating dinner. Good. We don't watch TV. We don't listen to the radio. It's nothing. We put everything away. No phones, no tablets, no electronics at the dinner table. Nothing. That goes for restaurants too.
That's good.
I love that rule.
I think that's huge everywhere. Yeah, that's smart. And yeah, unless you're in like a meeting or waiting for it. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much figure out your life around a dinner, I would hope. Jesse, what do you? Can you refresh what your tip was for us?
Stop fighting today's fires and start fighting tomorrow's fires to be more intellectual healthy with productivity. The fact of the matter is, it's probably too late if you're fighting today's fire. It's already burnt down. So why not move over to the next task and get it done?
It's already burned down. Just give up. Move on.
Seriously. There's a thing called the Eisenhower matrix, where it's basically the most urgent thing, the most important and urgent thing, and then not important and not urgent, and then important but urgent. And if you follow that matrix throughout your life, it makes life so much easier. Look it up. It really helps, because if you're always tackling the thing that is in front of you, that is probably not that important, to be honest, then you're not getting anywhere. So why not actually tackle the important stuff?
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think that he makes a good point that, like, you have to focus. You know, in everything that I've heard Jesse say, you know, it's all about focus and focusing on what is in front of you to get to the next step. That's kind of what my takeaway was. Like, you have to get to that next step. So, you know, focus on what you're doing so that you can, with the intended goal of getting to that next fire, because it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully preventing it beforehand.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to cool. All right. Well, Junaid, what are your thoughts on that tip?
I don't know, man. That's pretty bullcrap right there. I mean, if there's a fire out, you gotta put it out. But you're absolutely right, Jesse. If you have systems in place, and if you've put out enough fires in your time, then maybe spend time in putting those systems in place so that you don't have to put out a fire every single day, because it is a huge distraction in your mind, and you're always in a rushed state of mind. You can never relax, you can never sleep. It's kind of debilitating too. So having those systems in place, having some kind of routine so that you can say, okay, you know what? It already happened. I can't change what happened in the past. Let's move forward. How can we avoid it? What can we do? I think there was a really great example when um, the rocket launch was happening at SpaceX. The rocket exploded instead of going further. And Elon, instead of started yelling, he's like, let's look at the data, what actually happened. Right. So having that kind of mindset, okay, what can we do to avoid this from happening again? Absolutely amazing. What's up, Christine? Thanks for watching this on the phone.
All right, let's talk. You talked a little bit, Junaid, about routines. I think most of us here have multiple businesses. We have different revenue streams. We all are podcasters. How can you keep a routine with the crazy life of entrepreneurship?
Well, the number one thing that you need to do is you need to have a team, because if you're just a solo entrepreneur, you're just a freelancer. There's a word for it. You're basically just a freelancer. But if you're really an entrepreneur, then you have systems in place. You have people in place to take care of those tasks. You know, you are a team, right? When you have those teams in place, then you can get so much more done. The book our good friend Tim Ferriss wrote a few years ago, The 4 Hour Work Week. How is he able to do that, right? Having systems in place, having teammates in place so that you can get so much more work done. And I had to learn that the hard way. I was editing my own episodes, I'm publishing my own stuff, and I got myself fired from a job that was paying for my livelihood, right? I'm like, okay, this has to change. We need to have a team in place so that I don't fall into that same trap again. And when you have a team in place, not only are you getting your time back, but you're also supporting somebody else's lifestyle, you're supporting somebody else's uh, um, livelihood, so to say. So I've had a team members, that I've been working with for many years, and they come back with gratitude. I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like being able to work on these projects, being able to support the family is absolutely, a mind blowing thing. So, and it doesn't have to be very expensive. Yeah, right. You can start with one person on your team, start training them, hand off the things that you think are repetitive. For example, um, us, you've got a team that's in the chat, right? That's manning the production, that's posting these comments. There's These teams are important to make sure that you keep going and move forward.
100%, 100%. Did you see
I, lo-
we got two questions here real quick,
I love
and then we have a live question.
Absolutely. So I love
Go ahead.
Tina's question. What about those starting out who have yet to build their team? Well, a team starts with,
She has a follow-up
oh, cool.
question here.
Who should be the first person on your team? I love that too. So it all comes down to first do what Sean says, right? Figure out when are you the most productive, and then as you're figuring out these things on paper, what are the things that you're repetitively doing every single day? Can you make a video on that to train somebody else? Can you make a little process on that so that you can teach somebody else? Because when you do that, then you can find the exact person who can solve that specific problem for you. And what's beautiful thing is there's a lot of people all over the world that would love and die to work with you. And they are so ecstatic to learn from you, to grow with you, that it's just mind blowing. I recently had a conversation with a gentleman in Pakistan. He is 47 years old. And he's like, oh my God, I'm the worst at podcasting. I'm just starting out. I'm like, dude, calm down. Have you raised children? He's like, yes, I have 4 kids. I'm like, there you go. That in it itself gives you the authority to understand how do you talk to your children, right? How do you talk to your children becomes how do you talk to the world. So, anyways, just to give you a little uh, mindset shift is we all have gained experiences. We all have learned experiences that we can talk about. So the first person on your team should be somebody that can take off, you know, take off the busy stuff that you're doing on every single day. I think Austin was saying that
Like admin
the
work.
admin work, exactly. Admin work.
Yeah, there's actually a lot, Tina. A lot of, I would say there's different theories, but a lot of it starts with, who can respond to emails and set schedules and do all that. Get that off your plate. Next one would be like marketing and sales. Can you get someone that can close for you? Then it's like training and hiring, kind of move your way up. And so how you do it can be different, but definitely almost everyone, I would say, agrees that getting the admin, scheduling, emailing, all that kind of stuff out of the way and outsource that to someone else is huge.
I have something to say on this.
Please.
There is
finally.
no point in hiring anyone until you know what your systems are. If you don't know your systems, you can't teach your systems. So unless you're hiring somebody to help create your systems. So that's my point of view. And I know this because through the food trucks, through managing people, through all that stuff, if you don't have a system that people are meant to follow, they will fail at their job.
Mm-hmm.
They will. And then you ask, who's to blame for their failure? And it's not them, it's you. So getting the systems in place is paramount before you hire anybody.
That's pretty true. I mean, you got to know what they're...
I didn't mean to be mean with that, but it's through several businesses I've learned this. So.
Yeah, you've got to know. I mean, the people have to know what they have to do. Yep. Hey, Sean has to leave. Bye, everyone. Sean. Say bye. Love
Thanks,
you.
Sean.
Thank you so
Talk
much.
soon.
Oh, I like that. Okay. He also dropped a potential challenge. We'll bring that up in a second. I mean, it's hard in systems because they change all the time. I mean, you could ask anyone that's worked with me. Every week, we pretty much alter a lot of their things. And it always is changing and growing. So you got to have your systems in place, but you got to be ready to work on the systems almost as much as anything else in the business.
And the thing about systems is any task that you do twice should have like an SOP if you're going to hire a standard operating procedure. I won't use acronyms because people don't know what things mean. But if you have an SOP in place and you get them to follow that, or sometimes I have virtual assistants from like the Philippines or Bangladesh or the India. And what I do is I do videos and I show them exactly what I want done. And at that point, they've got training materials, having the systems, the training materials. And it might sound really redundant to say that, but the better you train people, the better they can actually do their job. And that's something that a lot of freelancers, because we do it all ourselves, fail at really badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also on that, if we have that training system in place, we can review it and then relearn what we forgot, because we also forget a lot, believe it or not. So, yeah.
Excellent points.
All right, guys, we have sorry, I'm going to cut you off real quick. For the first time ever, we are taking a live question from the audience.
Do they come in?
So we have Danielle who's going to ask you guys a question right now. Danielle, you're live. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle.
Hey there. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Good to
We can hear you.
All right, good to see you again, Jesse. Nice to meet you, Junaid. So I noticed that there's no women on the show today. And so I'm kind of curious to ask maybe more of a feminine perspective on productivity, which is for you guys. How would you handle when you have trouble at work and maybe it's like a coworker or a boss makes you cry? How do you handle productivity when emotions come up?
Real quick before you guys answer that, we did have a female scheduled who canceled last minute, and Jesse covered for her. So thank you, Jesse, for covering for Kim. Okay, go ahead and answer a question now.
You want me to answer in the easiest way possible?
Jesse's got the...
Yeah, go for
Danielle,
it,
I'm going to be a dick. Your job would be filled. Your job would be filled within 3 days if you quit. Respond accordingly.
Interesting.
They do not give a shit about you. So I'm going to go off on this. Most companies, large companies, do not give a shit about any of their employees. And that may sound incorrect, but it's absolutely true. They're in it for profit. For major companies, working for a freelancer, working for a couple home businesses is more relevant because people care about the people that are in their sphere generally. Working for a mom and pop shop, they care about it. But if you're working for a major corporation, I won't say names so none of us get sued, they don't give a flying rat's patootie about anybody that's working for them. They can fill that spot in 3 days with a high school kid and they don't care. So why would we be loyal to them if we're going to get treated like that? Why wouldn't we move on and do something for ourselves? That sounds really mean, but it's not meant to be mean. It's if they treat you like shit, treat them like shit back.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to counteract a little bit on that, Jesse. So the fact that they don't care about you, company specific, I believe. Junaid, you can probably second this with me, but a lot of company culture studies this and that. They bring in people all the time. I mean, they all care about profit, but profit relies on happy employees to produce that, right? So if they're treated like shit, I think it's been proven time again that your company will turn to shit. But companies do understand that employees move this. And I think now more than ever, employees are not staying 10, 20, 30 years like they used to, right? So now you can't really build a business around a core of, say, 30 people. Like, these are the best 30 people. I love them. They're my family. They come over for Thanksgiving. We're building this awesome business. Half of them are going to leave within like 5 years. So it's all, like you had talked about earlier, Jesse, it's all about processes and systems. And who can complete and innovate that system the fast? Those are going to be the best employees, or at least the best employees for productivity's sake, for your company. And so if someone gets fired, the simpler you can make it for a new person to come in, watch training videos, get trained up to speed, and be as productive as that person, the better off your company will be for productivity's sake. But as far as treat you like shit, treat them back as shit, I think that that's a little moving out and not as trendy as it used to be.
Austin, have you ever been treated like shit by an employer? Like, I mean, really like shit?
Jesse, your and I relationship doesn't have to go.
I'm just kidding.
We got a lot of comments. I'm trying to respond to them. But I have employed many, many, many people.
Yeah. So,
and only you I treat like shit, Jesse.
So I've been in the position where I've been the boss, and I've also been the person who has cried. And the reason I say that is because the people that were above me in that position where my staff were crying, and it wasn't me that made them cry, it was them that made them cry, I went to bat for my staff. And I actually, the bosses didn't care. So eventually it killed the morale of the whole group of people. There was 20 of us, and pretty much everybody quit because of the culture that was there. You're right that the culture is changing in many corporations, but it's not where it needs to be to actually benefit the employees in a lot of places. So I understand both points of view. And specifically from the female perspective, I'm not female, but I've worked with females that have cried, and it used to be, oh, toughen up. That's bullshit. Your feelings are valid; they matter. And Austin, you're right. If your employees aren't happy, they're not going to be productive. So why is the boss making people cry in the first place?
That's a very tough question, and being out of a position where I haven't really experienced that kind of crying employees and whatnot, it has changed over time, and companies are becoming more taking more emotional intelligence trainings throughout, because they realize, especially through this entire pandemic, and we saw what would actually happen and how if it's affecting people. Like, a lot of the there was a lot of conversation happening, not about crying, but a lot of these single employees that were putting in extra hours were like, well, why do the parents get to take more time off because they have kids at school? Like, they have those kind of things coming up. So again, people are people, and they are now more than ever, growing and becoming more emotionally capable. But the thing is, it's all kind of going backward, especially with what's happening now in the world, and the like, oh, COVID is over, everybody's coming back to the office now to work, and we see a lot of people leaving because they found other solutions. People are now working more gig kind of jobs,
Yeah.
working for Postmates or Uber Eats or whatnot. So they have more freedom to do jobs, but there are still a lot of new people entering the workforce that are like, hey, we got to have a job. They still have that old kind of mentality.
I'm gonna just say something here. I agree with you, Junaid, but something processed in my brain. Danielle, are you not an emotional intelligence expert?
Finally.
What's your answer on this?
Oh, that's so sweet. And then,
Oh, the questioner questioned. Oh,
And you're female. We're both mansplaining to you. This isn't cool.
that was very emotionally intelligent of you to exercise some active listening skills and presence. So thank you for that. No, I
even
think
remembered.
I think you guys make great points. The only thing that I would share is like, I don't think that our work is just primarily work. And I mean, Jesse made a great point about like, business is business, and that's really, it makes a lot of sense. That's how the world is run. But like for your own personal productivity, especially with what Junaid said about many people working gig jobs, it's really important for us to take a focus and start focusing on your personal productivity that you take with you throughout any company and any relationship with authority figures or in any team, right? So I've created
what about personal productivity even in your personal life?
personal productivity.
Yeah, outside of a company or a job, what about productivity in your own life?
Oh, so like, you mean like having energy to like go on the weekend to spend time with your family or do errands and go to the gym?
Sure, whatever you consider productive in your own life. I mean, you shouldn't just be growing for a company. You should be producing and growing for yourself as well.
Exactly. And I think it's the perspective that we don't have on that because we put so much of our value into money and focusing on our safety and security that we forget that that's really the truth, is what you're saying is your productivity is your wow, productivity. I want to say productivity. Productivity for like all of your life.
Yeah.
And then I would also do a shameless plug of, if you want to learn more about your productivity, starting with yourself personally, follow me on Instagram or Facebook, Danielle Blackmore, for the Empowered Doers program that I'll be promoting at the end of this month.
Awesome.
All right. So now we got actionable item. Go take her course and learn from her. Danielle, did we answer your question?
Yes, thoroughly. Very good.
Angrily, too.
Awesome. Well, we're going to thank you for popping on and asking a live question for the first time in Millionaires Are Made history. And we'll wrap up the show. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you.
All right, Junaid and Jesse, we have overstayed our welcome, which I thought was going to happen knowing the two of
Every
you.
time.
We got to come up with our daily challenge. It needs to be something that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone from Kamchatka to, what did I say?
Kathmandu.
We'll just go Japan. Kathmandu. There we go. That's great too. A little far. That improves our intellectual health, productivity. What ideas do you guys have?
Sean left a challenge for us earlier, and that was
He did. Yeah,
let's. And
all right. So Sean's challenge was to plot energy the rest of this week, 8 a.m., noon, 4 p.m., and 8 p.m., and then schedule it. So that is going to be part of it. So each day, so that's going to have to be like at the end of the day. I guess figure out like the 2 highest points of your energy for the day. Is that something?
I think that's a great challenge.
When did you?
I think it is.
look back and reflect at the end of the day and go, when was I energetic? Be like, oh, dude, I got like 3 things done in that hour. Okay, that was roughly around 3 p.m. Oh, I got like 1 thing done at 10 a.m. That was a pretty decent. Okay, so let's reflect on the 2 time periods of the day that you were most productive. And today it's literally always doing this show. Okay, what else we got? Oh my gosh, we are so late. Let's try to wrap this up real quick. What else you guys got?
So the other thing that you want, the challenge
that?
that's going to take you less than 5 minutes is, again, be intentional on what you're going to spend your day on,
Oh, good.
so that you can actually get that stuff done. Because most of the times we'll wake up and we're like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing today? What's on the calendar? But if you're actually intentional without looking at the calendar, I'm like, okay, I want this stuff done. And I think it really helps is before you go to sleep the day before, you put in your list or put in your mind, hey, I want to work on these things tomorrow because I wasn't able to get them done today, and there's something that's on my mind. So that way, the next day when you wake up, you're more geared to getting those things done.
Okay, so I love that. I have visualized 3 things you're going to get done for that day, so it sets you kind of a focus. And then I added another one is either delete or limit a phone app on the time used.
I like that, yeah.
And I'll add one more.
I mean, if 7 different apps, you go ahead, Jesse.
I want people, personally, my challenge is for them to look 1 month ahead from today and find out what's going to kill their productivity in a month and get that thing done now instead of a month from now. Fight the fire now instead of a month from now when it's an emergency. Also, Junaid, it's kind of like honeybees, right? I've got honeybees in the front yard here. And what do they do all season? They collect honey.
Yep,
they collect
honey.
They create this massive hive until winter comes, and then they survive off it all year because they've actually prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a better metaphor for this whole productivity talk than the honeybee.
Yep.
All right, I love it. I got that in there too. All right, so we officially have our daily challenge. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to put you guys backstage. Thanks for coming out, and I'll wrap up the show here. Dun, 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 dun. And thank you all so much for watching another episode of Millionaires Are Made. Today we focused on intellectual health and productivity. If you have a spicy brain, a little ADHD, it's most to really figure out what the hell it's going to be. You're going to kind of got to wait and try to get everything done for the day. But lots of tips today. Definitely reducing phone time. We got an awesome daily challenge. At the end of the day, reflect or think about the day before if you're doing it in the morning. Reflect on 2 periods of the day that you were the most productive, whether it was the afternoon, early morning, late night. When did you feel like you had the most energy to focus and get shit done? Then we're going to visualize 3 things every day to accomplish that day so that we can stay focused and productive and try to get those 3 things done. Then we're going to go to our phone and either delete an app or limit the time on it. Most of the apps nowadays have time limits. I know Facebook does, TikTok, all those little social media ones, so that you can actually reduce your time wasting on those. And then we're going to listen to Jesse and think far into the future, about a month out, try to productivity then, and try to prevent it.